Alright guys, so today we're going to be installing this vacuum pump on the C10. Hopefully we got enough daylight today to get it all done. I can only do so much after work every day, but I'll bring you guys in closer here so you can see what Aerospace kits have to offer. Pretty nice stuff, man. So here's the pump. This is the pressure relief valve. It works just like a fuel regulator. You have a jam nut and you screw it in for more vacuum. You screw this big portion here in for more vacuum, or you screw it out for less vacuum. This fitting right here will go to your valve cover, and then this fitting here will go to your catch can. And this is your catch can that comes with the kit. Really impressed with the quality of this stuff. And then they give you 6 feet of steel braided line, massive dash 12 fittings. This is the mandrel. This will bolt onto your harmonic balancer, and this is the valve cover bung. Pretty simple setup. You have to cut a hole in your valve cover. I have the breather holes in the valve cover right now, but they're too big for this fitting, so I'll have to cut a hole and get the breather holes plugged off so that it doesn't leak any vacuum. So that's what's on the scope for today. One thing that is important to tell you guys about these pumps, they advertise, I bought this off of Jegs. This is for a small block Chevy, that this pump will mount onto your small block Chevy, but it won't. There's not enough surface area in the head, and I'll move this cart out of the way and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's universal. You can mount it on either side. I opted for the driver's side because I have all my fuel regulators mounted to that head there, and I have all my fuel lines already cut to length. So what I've come up with, and you don't have to do this, you can go down and buy yourself a bracket. But this is basically, I had this already, so I'm just gonna build my own bracket. It's not gonna be that extravagant, it's not gonna be that hard to do, so that's the route that I decided to take here. So anyways, we'll get into this right now and see what I can come up with. Alright, so first what you want to figure out is, we know it's going to be tight up against the valve cover on the dog ear here. So we're going to measure right up off of that, and then we're going to go to about midpoint so that we have plenty of adjustment either way whenever we get a belt on there. I'm going to go to 7.5. That way the bracket sticks out a little bit and it's got plenty of stability. I know this is a thick piece of metal, but I would rather be safe than sorry. So we'll get this measured out at 7.5 and get it cut, and then we will fit it back up there, drill some holes. Just real quick, this is how I get down when I need to do fabrication work of any kind. Like I said, I do this all in the driveway, so I use my truck tailgate as a workbench for right now until I get my back patio finished up. We're enclosing it and running power to it, and it'll be a much better situation for working on stuff. I'll have actual workbenches and whatnot in there. But until then, this is how we do it. Should have safety glasses on, but it is what it is. Okay, so now see how this lines up here, and we're gonna have to take a lot of this off. So as long as we go straight off of these two holes here, then the pump will be sitting pretty good. So I think I like that right about there. There's a little lip right here on the head that I'm matching up with. I could go a little higher. It's about an 1/8 inch below the valve cover, which should be fine because this is gonna have spacers on it and it's all right guys. So I ran into a little bit of a issue here. I got both the holes drilled here to go right into the head, but I'm off on this hole by a 1/16 maybe of an inch. So my solution to that is these guys. So I bought this set of burr bits whenever I ported my intake. I have this set, and then I have a really long shank, probably 3 times the size of these shanks here, when I was porting my intake. So I have this guy I'm going to use to kind of wallow this hole out a little bit, and that won't matter so much because this is going to locate the bracket. This is going to be the hole that isn't going to allow any of this to move, you know, if this is a little bit wallowed out. So all right, finally, my drill bit sucks, so that took forever, but this is what I came up with. It's these 2 holes will go into the head. This one is for the adjustment on the vacuum pump itself. So we will throw this together real quick. Oh, and a little fun fact about these vacuum pumps, they come to you full of oil, just so you guys are aware. One of the little red caps on the fittings came off and dumped oil all over the concrete. Wait, I got this backwards. Okay, so it goes like this. And then I have this bolt here. I just cut it shorter because this one goes behind the pump. And because I cut it shorter, it's a pain to start. When you cut a bolt like that, you want to run a nut on it, or if you have a tap and die set, you can run a die over it or whatever works. I just use a nut. Alright, so here's what we got. So I got this nut. It's a flange nut on this side. Let me see if this light helps. There we go. So I got this flange nut on this side, flange bolt on this side. I got 2 washers in the middle here, right there, here and over there, to help align it. You know, it needs to be coming off the head evenly, so that way when I put the mandrel on down there, my belt will be in line. So I'm gonna get that mandrel on there and find a piece of string and run it and see how straight we are on it. Alright guys, we had a massive delay because I got the pump mounted with the bracket and everything like that, and then I was ready to start adjusting this mandrel here, set screw in here. So you gotta take this screw out, the center screw, and then this is a set screw in here. So that right there is an 1/8 inch Allen key, and the only Allen key missing out of my set was an 1/8 inch Allen key. So I had to put everything away, everything that I showed you guys earlier that I had out. I had to close everything up because it's right here in the driveway, and then I had to go down the road to O'Reilly's to bet. So anyways, you take this out, unscrew the nose of this thing, and then you take this set screw out. And then the whole pulley comes off. Put that set screw somewhere that it's going to be safe. And the way that this adjusts is these have shims on them, like so. Put this pulley on wherever it's going to line up with your other pulley. So you have different size shims here to kind of make it work. Okay, so this is what I got going on with the bracket. Not much has changed because I've been looking for a stupid Allen key this whole entire time. But I got this bolt running through here, and I'm gonna weld this nut to the back side of the bracket. So when I'm pulling up on the pump and trying to adjust that, I don't have to worry about holding a wrench on the back side and holding a ratchet on the front side and trying to tighten this, and kind of need 3 hands for that. So by welding this on the back side, that'll make my life a lot easier when it comes to adjusting this. Alright guys, so yesterday didn't go as planned at all. Per the usual with this truck, it got dark, I lost my Allen key, had to go buy new Allen keys, got things adjusted here, just to come back and find out that I think the whole pump needs to move forward yet. But then I went to go buy a belt just right now. I measured it out with a string and took it over to AutoZone just to get, you know, just a basic V-belt, and came back and it was like a million miles too long. So I'm gonna go ahead and just continue with the install. We're gonna get this catch can figured out right here. So basically I'm gonna mount it right there. All right, so we got this guy on there mounted pretty solid. It is kind of tilting in a little bit. The right thing to do would have been to grind this lip down, because it's pivoting on this lip that's protruding out here on the core support, but it is what it is for now. I got to get this thing done like between tonight and tomorrow before 6 p.m. when the gates open. So we're just gonna roll with it like that, and then before Vegas I'll fix it. You know, I'm not gonna worry about radiusing this either. I was gonna do that, but I'm not really concerned with it right now, since we're just trying to get out to the track tomorrow night. But before Vegas, everything will be 100%. Also, I have something else. So I was trying to show you guys these valve covers and trying to get them all situated as far as being plugged up. That's not gonna work. I mean, with a vacuum pump, it's got to be sealed. If you have any kind of leak, you're not going to be pulling the vacuum that you're targeting. So with that being said, I went down to Speedway today and I got some different valve covers. Hold on 1 second. You guys, this way. Surprisingly, for the money, pretty decent stuff. They look just like those AFRs, but they're just a raw aluminum. So they're pretty much a blank canvas for whatever it is you want to do. But the similarities are, you know, it's got this divot. I mean, they're tall valve covers. They look identical to those. I'm starting to think AFR just buys these as a core and machines their name into it, and then powder coats them and sells them for $210, because that's how much I paid for those AFR valve covers. These, on the other hand, $55 for the pair. Speedway. Pretty freaking awesome. And what I'm thinking is, since my logo or my name or my team name is Blanco Motorsports, I was gonna see if I could find somebody to engrave that on these valve covers and then have them powder coated black with red lettering. So if any of you guys watching are in Arizona or know anybody in Arizona that does engraving, I'm looking to get that done. I'll probably get a file and just deburr this casting flash that we got going on here, just to make sure it doesn't dig into my gasket. So I'll get on this. This is the next step here. We'll get this all deburred. I got some files that I'll use, and then we'll get the old valve covers off, the new valve covers on. Alright, since I got this off, I wanted to show you guys my valve train. Those are those new Scorpion rockers that I got. See that 1.6? Yup. They're much less bulky too. The guy on the phone called these their, I forget what he said. I think he said they're Pro Series or something like that. He said they don't sell a whole lot of them, but he's not exactly sure why. He said they're a great rocker. He had them on a small block Chevy in one of his cars that was a much higher RPM motor than this, and much bigger camshaft, but got the AFR stud girdle. But yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys a peek at my valve train real quick while I'm getting this swapped over. What a freaking transformation. I don't know how to feel about it. Let's get the full effect here. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like the black kind of suited it better, but that's all I ever had on the motor. I never had any other color on it. Let me know what you guys think. Engrave my logo with red lettering and leave it raw aluminum, or powder coat in black. That's basically there. Can't really see inside of there, but it's on. I promise you that it is on. So the next thing that you can do, if you just start peeling this tape off and just kind of trim it back all the way to the top. That's why you want to use this tape, because it's super easy to peel out. Duct tape, not so much. See that? Came clean. Except for installation damage. If I had the time, then I probably would have. If I didn't have so many races coming up, I probably would have just waited to install this and bought those wrenches, but because I'm starting to learn right now that they're kind of probably worth it if you don't want to scratch it up. I know it's a race car, but it's kind of nice to have it looking right, not looking like it's 100 years old when it's barely out of the box. Got better at it that go round. So we'll put this one where the visual, the focal point. What is that? Is that what they call it? Focal point. Everybody's eyes are gonna go right to the motor when I pop the hood. So put the scratched up one closer to the radiator. If you can't get it started, obviously, just use a knife. Jesus. And if that don't work, just burn it off with a torch or something, I guess. I don't know. Just kidding. Don't do that. So now that that first hose is done, you guys got the gist of it. I'm going to cut the hole in the valve cover and get the other hose made, and then I'll show you guys the finished product when I'm done. Alright, real quick. If you guys are going to do something like this, it's probably a good idea. You don't have much room here. It's going to be pretty easy to overshoot this if you're not careful. So if you're going to do this, go grab you a set of calipers and just take a measurement here that you could transfer onto the valve cover. So it's about 1.054 is what we're looking at, and you want it to be damn close to that, because that O-ring, it needs to seal up on the inside. So just a little tip for you guys. Alright, so I'm getting ready to cut this out. So I wanted to share this with you guys. I was looking around for something to make a perfect circle. See, the inner part was my attempt of just saying I won't make it a perfect circle right away, and I'll just bore out however much I need, test fit it, bore it out, test fit it, go back and forth like that. But if you guys are going to get an Aerospace vacuum pump kit, and it comes with that fitting right there for your valve cover, that bung, a Dasani water bottle cap, one of these little tiny thin ones, you know, that come in like the 24 pack of Dasani bottles. It's exactly the diameter of that, and I know that because 0.054, right? That sucker is exactly what we need it to be. So just a little tip for you guys, if you guys are gonna get the same pump as me or whatever, if you guys are gonna go with just a -12 bung, it doesn't have to be the same pump. That's what that transfers over to. So now I got a perfect hole that I'll have cut out, and it's important that you get this right, because if you don't, and that stupid little seal on there starts to leak, then you're either gonna have to find somebody that can weld cast aluminum, or you just screwed up your valve covers and you gotta go spend another $55. So, little tip for you guys. Alright guys, I got this done. Alright, here's the end result. I didn't take the line all the way off, but the thing's a perfect freaking fit. I mean, I don't know if it gets any better than that, unless you have like a hole saw. But what I basically did was, I got my drill out. I drilled an initial hole anywhere really, just somewhat center to start with, and then I went ahead and got my die grinder. Let me show you. Alright, this thing ain't the best, but it's done a lot of work for me. These burr bits, I got them on Amazon. I think I told you guys about it already. But anyways, I got this, and I just started boring this hole out. So it's not a perfect circle, but I mean, that is damn close. And what I did was, I didn't take the line off right away. You don't want to do that. You want to cut within the line, get it close to the line. I would say about 1/16 of an inch away from the end, you know, the inside diameter of the line, and then start checking that thing. Put it on here, check it, and because you're not gonna have a perfect circle. You can look at this, and it's kind of wonky, but by checking it ever so often, it's not going to come all the way through. It'll get stuck, and you'll kind of eyeball it and see where you need to trim it. But I mean, damn, that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. So I got all these fragments all over it, so I'm gonna hit it with what brake cleaner I have left, because the air alone didn't get it all off. And then I'll get it on the car, or on the truck, and then we'll go from there. I'll make the other line. Alright, so kind of got this down a little bit better now. This is what it looks like on the cut edge of using the grinder. It's a much cleaner cut, but it's imperative that you flush this line out after you do that. Whether I use brake cleaner, you know, just douse it with brake cleaner and then blow it out with air if you have an air compressor. If you don't have an air compressor, you should probably go get one, because you're gonna need it a lot on this kind of stuff. So anyways, whenever you go to get these on, you kind of gotta finagle it in there. You gotta get one side in and then kind of just work it around, and then start twisting and praying, or whatever it takes. After you do the first one, it gets a little bit easier. And you get this started by hand. And what I'm trying to accomplish, this swivels, but I'm pretty sure it don't swivel too much once it's tight. I don't know, but I want to make sure that I hold that curve in line with my pump and in line with my valve cover bung. So ain't nothing to it but to do it. And another thing, I called Aerospace today because I wasn't really sure, but I can get you guys down in here. This port right here, this is the intake port. This is the what they call the exhaust that goes into the catch can. But this guy's gonna swivel, so don't freak out about that. It's gonna move. They design it this way so that you can point it in whatever desired direction you're gonna have it in. Just so you know, so you don't waste your time on the phone. And they come with oil, shipping oil already in them. I talked to them about that as well. They said leave it in there, don't worry about it. It'll get sucked out once the vacuum pump starts running. So yeah, sorry about it taking so long, guys. Definitely tried not to take too long, but it is what it is. I wanted to answer one of the guys' questions. This is my best motor pass so far. I don't know if you can read that. Let me turn this bright ass light off. Can you read that? No? Maybe? Anyways, 60 foot is a 1.78. The 330 is a 4.98. 660 is 767. Mile per hour at 660 is 91. 1,000 foot's a 10.0. And then quarter mile 12.05 at 111. So this was a really screwed up pass, and I will throw that video in at the end of this ordeal that I'm doing here. The tires, it knocked the tires off right out of the gate. So we got, damn, this lighting. There we go. It was a 196 60 foot, 499. Well, goddamn. All right. So, anyways, 660 was a 744. But my ET was 1150 at 119. So what happened on that run, let me go inside real quick. So what happened on that run was I had the tune up way too hot, and it blew the tires off for 100 feet or so, clear past the 60 foot. And I had the nitrous was set to only be on for 8 seconds. I don't know why I did that. Usually I'll do it at 12 seconds because I know that my run is way past over at 12 seconds. You know, I'm in the sub 1150s usually on nitrous. But at 8 seconds into the run, so about 1,000 foot, it nosed over because the nitrous went off. Well, with my nitrous controller, I have it programmed to where if you let off the wide open throttle switch and get back on it, then it'll reactivate or reset the ramp and it'll start spraying nitrous again. So I pedaled it like twice at 1,000 foot and still ran that 1150. So I guess they're done. So we were on a pass, you know, at top end anyways, before the nitrous went off. So but as far as that 1103 pass, you know, I don't know where that time slip is at, but I should have some pretty good information for you tomorrow night. I'm gonna post this video and then I'll be recording what we do tomorrow morning, because I think tomorrow morning we're gonna attempt to cut the hole in the hood so that I don't got to deal with taking the hood off at the track. And then we're gonna fix the rest of this vacuum pump, you know, shim it out and get a belt on it. And then that's pretty much it. That's all the work that I have to do in the morning. It's always like this too, man. We're always constantly working on this thing up until the day of. I mean, I have some stories that are ridiculous about this truck, trying to get it ready on race day. I hate doing that, but for whatever reason it always winds up being that way. So but yeah, so we're gonna head out around 5, and then we'll be the track by 6, gates open, and then track's hot at 7. So we'll be getting down around 7 o'clock and seeing what this thing does. But alright guys, well thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. I'll have another video probably posted Sunday. Alright, you guys take care.